Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Well, welcome to another episode of the program Thaqalayn Talks. I'm Atta, the host of this program. Throughout the whole month of Ramadan, we will present 30 insightful talks and conversations with the presence of different experts from Islamic houses on topics related to the holy month of Ramadan, the Ahlul Bayt, Holy Quran, and fasting. Tonight's guest speaker for the program Thaqalayn Talks is Sayyid Abdullah Almusawi. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you for having me.
For tonight's discussion, we want to talk about the connection between Imam Al-Mahdi and the holy month of Ramadan, and how Dua Al-Iftitah and the recitation of this dua is going to help us become more familiar with the character of Imam Al-Mahdi and the vision of dua in general. So Sayyid, before anything, let's talk a little bit about the significance of the month of Ramadan. How is it related to Imam Al-Mahdi Ajalallah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآل بيته الطاهرين سيما صاحب العصر والزمان روحي وأرواح العالمين المقدمين البلاء. Now we all know that there are times better than other times. There are months better than others, nights better than others. So the month of Ramadan obviously is better than any other month. Laylatul Qadr is better than any other night. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives these specific times and these specific days specialty due to the importance it holds. Now today maybe I want to open a new gate to the month of Ramadan itself.
Very good.
Because we assume, which is correct as well, that the month of Ramadan is about fasting, about prayer, dua, reading Quran, and all these ibadat, which is correct. Now, when you look at people, these things even a child will do during the month of Ramadan. Even children, sometimes they fast as well. Whether baligh or not baligh, they also fast and they don't eat and drink. They also read the Quran, do ibadah. So what differentiates a grown-up than a normal child in this essence? Now, even the Arafat, they did say that we have Sawm al-Khawas, some Khawas al-Khawas and stuff like that, but that's in terms of ibadah.
Yes.
But in terms of importance of the month itself, where does this month get its importance from?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we look at the narrations of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, that we see that the month of Ramadan is specifically dedicated to Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman.
Yes.
It is his month.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, for example, the month of Rajab. The
Yes.
Prophet says Shahri.
Yes.
The month of Sha'ban, Shahru Amir al-Mu'mineen, the month of Amir al-Mu'mineen. And the month of Rajab, Shahru Ummati,
Yes.
the Ummah. For example, the month of Muharram is the month of Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
Yes.
The month of Safar may be the month of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Imam al-Zaman salamullah alayhi, he takes as we say, the icing on the cake. He takes the month of Ramadan.
So it is Shahrullah and Shahr.
Exactly. So
Okay.
it is Shahrullah, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala manifests Himself through the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. And Imam Mahdi salamullah alayhi, he is as we say, not just only the guardian of this earth or the universe, but rather he is as we say, waliyu amrik. So the affairs of the heavens and the earth,
Mm-hmm.
jinn, ins, malaika, everyone involved. The Imam alayhi salam, he is the commander of this. Now, the point I want to make is that if we look at Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dedicated a month for us. Rather than to fast and stop eating, rather He wants me and you to connect with Imam Mahdi alayhi salam.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a month throughout the year where me and you, our main goal in this month is actually to connect with the Imam, rather than anything else.
Okay.
So the ibadat, they have an outer look and they have a depth look. For example, if you go to Hajj is just few rituals that if you look at it from a logical perspective, it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
That a person circulates around the rock,
Yes.
runs between a rock and a rock, and
Mm-hmm.
throws a rock against a rock. If non-Muslim looks at it, he might laugh.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, what's the point of this? But it has an in-depth spiritual depth to it.
Yes.
The month of Ramadan, beside the fasting, beside not, indulging in a lot of pleasures that we do in other days, there's an in-depth to it. And that is to connect with Imam Zaman alayhi salam. And that's why The night, the most important night throughout the year
Yes.
is Laylatul Qadr.
Yes.
What happens in Laylatul Qadr? What makes Laylatul Qadr so special? And the Quran explains, تَتَنَزَّلُ فِيهَا الْمَلَائِكَةُ.
Malaika, that's right.
وَالْأَمْرُ, everything comes down on this night. To whom does it come?
تنزل الملائكة والروح.
وَالْرُوحُ فِيهَا. To
Yes.
whom?
To whom?
To Imam Al-Zaman.
Okay, this is now the main, I
Okay.
think, controversial.
All right, so this is where
Yes.
is what it boils down to. Okay, so if Imam Al-Zaman, the entire universe, all the malaika, all the ruh, descend on the Imam, so he becomes a focal point of existence of this night. So he is the soul of the night.
Okay, sorry to say it, some people might say and criticize what you say in terms of this تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها was for Prophet Muhammad on that time.
Yeah.
How do you answer that?
Well, the simple, the Quran answers it. Because the Quran says تتنزل. تتنزل is, as we say, فعل مستمر. Right?
It's
so
a continuous one.
It's continuous. It did not stop. And even the Prophet ﷺ, even during his time, he asked the companions, he said to them, تتنزل الملائكة, to whom تتنزل? He said, on you, Ya Rasulullah. He said, after me, who? Because it's continuous. It happens every year.
That's right.
And that's why they stopped.
So after the demise of Prophet Muhammad, Imam Ali alayhi salam, then the other imams?
And the imams in the line. Down to Imam Mahdi alayhi salam.
So every Ramadan, when the imams were alive, I mean this descending down of the angels and the spirit was happening for the imam of the time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's
But
right.
all this is waiting for the right imam.
Imam, okay.
See, the prophets before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all of them, they done tabligh for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right?
Yes.
يأتي من بعد نبي اسمه أحمد.
Yes.
Every prophet has foretold his people someone will come. So he became the focal point of all religions. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the A'immah alayhim salam, they all done tabshir of Imam Mahdi. Because Imam Mahdi salamullah alayhi, his status is that he is the one that will carry the message, and not just carry it, but he will establish what every prophet was sent to do, which is justice on earth.
That's right.
No prophet was able to do that, not even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam, because this job was given to Imam Mahdi alayhi salam.
That's right.
And that what makes Imam Mahdi alayhi salam so special, in this
right.
whole line of prophets and awsiya and successors.
That's why during the Layali al-Ghad, they say that this book of taqdeer of the people of their lives was going to happen, I mean, as their destiny or fate in the future is in the hands of the best of Hujjah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So it's all in the hands of the Imam. And also I have a different perspective on that as well. So when it comes to taqdeer, so based on the ad'iyah narrations that we have, is that you pray during Night of Qadr that Allah gives you whatever you want for the year to come. Right, so pray for wealth and health and everything in between. Rather, Laylatul Qadr is about, so we've been told that there are 3 nights, right?
Yes.
Like the night of 19th, 21st, and 23rd.
Yes.
So they say you have to prepare from the night of 19th to the night of 21st, and then 23rd is the peak, right, where everything happens.
And for Ahlul Sunnah 27th.
We have no business with them. We have no business with them.
Okay.
I will leave them for now.
Okay.
But so, this preparation, it's not about to prepare yourself to do istighfar and get ready so on that night you ask Allah for whatever you want. My opinion is that since the malaika themselves and the ruh descend on Imam Mahdi alayhi salam and they present themselves in his mahdar, in his presence, me and you, we have to use these 3 nights, or at least the first 2 nights that precede the 23rd, so we can be in the presence of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. And instead of me just sitting in the masjid doing Dua Al-Iftitah while falling asleep and doing other rituals, which we do without, actually focusing on, rather we need to focus on Imam Al-Mahdi alayhi salam. On this night, how am I going to present myself in front of my Imam? Because in that night, the whole universe will be in his hands.
Yes.
So because without exception, Allah nazal al-malaikatu wa-ruh, everyone comes there. Yes. Without exception.
Without exception.
So, if the whole existence is in the hand of the Imam alayhi salam, where am I and you in this formula? Am I saying in the masjid reading Dua Al-Joshan, or am I contemplating my stance in front of my Imam.
Okay, sorry, Sayyid, if I got it right. So all these malaika, the angel and the spirit came down to serve the Imam, isn't it? Salamullah. So now if you, as a faithful believer, are connected to Imam As, so you are somehow being served too, isn't it? As a faithful, servant to Imam As.
The malaika themselves, without having to involve Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designated several malaika to every person. At some narration it brings the number to 7. Each one of us has 7 angels guarding him.
Yes.
Beside the guys that write on the right and the left that write our a'mal. There are 7 other malaika who takes care of our affairs, protect us, this and that. Allah in the Quran says the believers, the malaika yastaghfiruna lahum. So the malaika actually on a daily basis they do istighfar for me and you. Right?
Yes.
So the malaika at your service.
Yes.
They are always serving you. The more pious you are, the more the angels are at your service. You don't see them, but they are at your
They
service.
ask for forgiveness for us, you mean?
They do.
They do.
The Quran says. So they do istighfar for me and you. So in normal circumstances, the malaika are at your service. The more a believer, his level goes higher, the more the malaika will be at his service. Something just came to my mind is that one of the Shu'aib ibn Salih, one of the characters that will play a major role during the dhuhr of the Imam alayhi salam. If you read the narrations about Shu'aib ibn Salih, it's kind of mind-boggling because it projects him having a position much higher than all the malaika, which is really scary. Like, what did this person achieve in his life that he became higher than all the malaika? So yes, a human being will be higher than the malaika will serve him. So Imam al-Zaman, salamullah alayhi, the malaika are indebted to him for their existence. Without Imam al-Zaman, no angels will exist. So in Dua Al-Iftitah, which is our topic for today, it says, Allahumma wa huffahu bi malaikatika al-muqarrabin. Oh Allah, make the angels surround him. But what angels? Any angels? Is no. Al-muqarrabin. Who are the muqarrabin? Jibreel, Mikael, Israfil, Azrael. These 4, right? These 4 malaika are the ones who are at the surface of the Imam during the month of Ramadan, during the Laylatul Qadr at least. But they are actually, in any other night, they are still at his service. So you can see that the Imam alayhi salam, since the malaika are under his service, they would also be at the service of the believers as well.
That's right.
Who connect with the Imam alayhi salam.
We know that the recitation of Dua Al-Iftitah in the night side for the holy month of Ramadan has exactly the same result. The istighfar of malaika for us, one of the results narrated by the Imams in our hadith is this one. The recitation of Al-Iftitah supplication, as you said, Layali al-Ghad and Imam Al-Mahdi, opens a new perspective, Sayyid, to
it does. It does. See, the dua itself, Dua Al-Iftitah, was narrated by Sayyid Abdullah which he narrated from the second ambassador of Imam Mahdi salamullah alayhi, Muhammad Sayyid Al-Amali. So he narrated through him that Muhammad bin Sayyid Al-Amali, he wrote in his book, but he did not say this is from Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Even though Allama al-Majlisi in Bihar al-Anwar says this is from the Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. But if you read the dua, you can tell this is not a dua of a person. Because the Imam alayhi salam, they have a special nafas, they have a special aroma, they have a special taste when it comes to their dua. Their dua, their words, the way they form their word is not the same as any other person. So dua was given to us, and it was said to us by the scholars and by the mystics that we need to read this dua every night of the month of Ramadan. But there's 2 different types of reading, right? There's just a verbal reading and there's an understanding reading. So even the Quran, it says yaqra'un, but then there's qira and there's tilawa. There's 2 different things. Sometimes I read something, sometimes no. I read with contemplation. The thing that we need to do the most, besides just reading the dua itself, we need to focus on the dua. We need to see how can I and you connect with the Imam through this dua. And at least to get to know who is Imam Mahdi through this dua. Because this dua is divided into 3 parts. One is hamd and shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, glorifying and thanking Allah. The second part is to doing salawat on the Imam alayhi salam. The third part of dua is dedicated to Imam Mahdi alone and no one else.
Yes.
So, and once we break down the Imam Mahdi alayhi salam's part, if we say 1/3 of it to Imam Mahdi, you see that even the Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, his roles in this dua is divided to 3 categories as well.
Yes.
One is the azama of the Imam alayhi salam. Because if you don't understand who Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is, then obviously you're swimming in a different lake. You know, you're as we have a saying that says you're singing in a different house.
Okay.
So, and this is one of the major problem that we face with our brothers and sisters from the followers of the Ahlul Bayt is that they don't have the real grasp of who Imam al-Zaman is.
Yes, that's right.
Once we understand who Imam al-Zaman alayhi salam is, then things will change for us. Our lives will change, our perspective will change. And Dua Al-Iftitah, it begins with that. Allahumma salli ala wali amrik al-qa'im al-mu'ammal. These few words, if we break them down, you will sink in an ocean of knowledge about the Imam alayhi salam. What does it mean, wali amrik? Who is wali al-amr? Let me just put it in perspective for you. This whole existence, me and you, right? Let's bring it down a bit. Now, we say wali al-amr is the one that takes care of the affairs of someone else.
Yes.
So in my household, I am wali al-amr, I am the wali of amr. I take care of the house. The responsibilities falls on me. I have to make sure they are maintained, healthy, safe, they have food. So they're indebted to me in their existence, at least to say an example.
All right.
Now, me and you, we live, we exist, and we have the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all given to us on a daily basis. Now, how is it these blessings of Allah possible and reached me and you? Every single cell in your body that bites, or not bites, that beats of life, it is only beating of life is because Imam al-Zaman is allowing it. So me and my existence, every breath that I take, it is only happening because of Wali al-Amr, Imam al-Zaman.
Yes.
This whole cosmos, this entire universe, it is only standing still because of Imam al-Zaman.
Without the presence of the Hujjah of Allah on earth and universe, maybe all the blessings of Allah will be cut
No,
off.
the hadith says, لَوْ الْحُجَّ لَسَاقَتِ الْأَرْضِ بِأَهْلِهَا. This whole universe will vaporize, will not exist. So now, since my entire existence is indebted to Waliul Amr, right? Then what is my duty to this Waliul Amr? So the first ta'rif, the first identification we give to Imam Mahdi in Dua Al-Iftitah is Allahumma salli ala wali amrik. This is the first point we have to understand. Who is Waliul Amr? And what are our duties towards Waliul Amr? Because obviously at the end of the day, if I'm a servant of the Imam, the servant has certain requirements he needs to meet when it comes to his master, with Imam al-Zaman. Am I meeting this request? Am I doing this? So, Azamatul Imam alayhi salam, the majesty, the might, I don't know how, I'm running out of words in describing the magnitude of the Imam alayhi salam, the glory of the Imam alayhi salam. It has to be understood. So one can actually feel the heaviness of this Imam that we're dealing with. Because sometimes sadly we treat the Imam like any of his forefathers who died and gone, and we talk about it, we sing about it, we cry about it, and that's it. But what makes Dua Al-Iftitah special is that it talks about the Imam as an Imam who is living.
Yes.
Because 1/4 or more of the Dua, it deals with the Imam in our life. Allahumma man bihi sha'athana. Allahumma do this with it, do this, do that, do this, do that. With the Imam. Bihi. Everything is bihi. And all the last paragraph of Dua Al-Iftitah, we ask Allah for things that we deal with on a daily basis. When it comes to my rizq, when it comes to my students, when it comes to my family, when it comes to everything. And say, oh Allah, bihi do this, bihi do that. Which means nothing happens.
Without the presence of Imam.
Without the presence of the Imam, or without the okay of the Imam.
That's right. Okay. Thank you very much, Sayyid. And thank you very much, dear viewers. You are watching Thaqalayn Talks, really fruitful discussions with the presence of Sayyid Abdullah Almusawi. I've got a question for you on Zoom Live now from Sayyid Ali, who says, Assalamu alaikum. How can we strengthen our connection with the Imam, especially at the times of happiness and sadness, when we often neglect his presence and assistance?
Well, first, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Well, that's the idea. So, when we are saying, we've been told by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa sallam, أفضل أعمال أمتي انتظار الفرج. The best action of my ummah is to wait for the Imam. Now, waiting itself, it's a concept. When I'm waiting for you, I'm anticipating to see someone that I know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for someone or something I don't know. So how can I build a connection with someone I really don't know? Now let me make it easier for the brother. So when it comes to ma'rifah and knowledge, there are a few types. At least let me make it in 4 categories.
Yes.
There is ma'rifah ismiyah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's just knowing the person by name and
Yes.
identity. We know his name is Muhammad ibn Hassan ibn Ali and goes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is ma'rifah ismiyah. And then there's ma'rifah tarikhiyah. Knowing what he did, where he went, this is the historical knowledge. There's ma'rifah aqaidiyah, like the theological understanding of the Imam. What does the Imam believe in? What does he stand for? And then there's ma'rifah shakhsiyah, knowing the Imam on a personal level, knowing him for who he is. Okay? Now, unless you go down this link, you won't connect with him. As simple as that. And that's why you see that when we look at Imam al-Zaman alayhi salam, we see ourselves distant from him. Why? Is because we did not go through this phase. Or maybe we went through 1, 2 and we stopped.
Mm-hmm. Our knowledge about the Imam is incomplete.
Incomplete.
That's right.
And that's why, so if you want to build a link with the Imam alayhi salam, connect with him, then you have to go through the whole list.
Uh-huh.
And now, until you get to the last one, which is ma'rifah shakhsiyah, knowing him on a personal level. And now the question might come to mind is it possible that I can know the Imam? My response is 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You can not just know him, you can actually see him.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and this is like, might be a bit shocking to people to hear, but might as well, since this is the month of the Imam alayhi salam, let me throw it out there. The Imam is living amongst us,
Mm-hmm.
right? One of the reasons that the brother is asking that we don't have this connection,
Yes.
is that because we, looking at ghaiba,
Mm-hmm.
the occultation of the Imam,
Yes.
in a wrong meaning.
Mm-hmm.
See, when we talk about, we say al-Imam al-Ghaib,
Yes.
we're not saying an Imam.
Is absent.
No, not
Okay.
absent.
Okay.
No, an Imam who is not there.
Uh-huh.
He's non-existent. Like no one can see him, no one can touch him, no one can deal with him.
Okay.
If this is a ghaiba to us, we will not ever connect with the Imam.
Mm-hmm.
But the ghaiba means absence, like you said. Absence means what? It means he is with us. I know him,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not in the city, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, there was a brother called Ali, and he would join us on a regular basis. But today, Ali is not present.
Yes.
You say Ali is absent,
Mm-hmm.
but you know who Ali is. You know him by name. You know him how he looks. You know everything about him.
Yes.
Now, the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they gave us a roadmap of how to find and identify the Imam himself by looks, not by just information.
Okay.
Because why? Because the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they wanted the Shia to connect with their Imam,
Mhm.
not to be distant from it.
Yes.
Now, the problem is not with the Imam alayhi salam being away from us or not connecting with us, is that we not connecting with him.
Mm-hmm.
So dua, we say, when we do dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we do a dua, we're asking Allah to give us things,
Mhm.
right? So we talk to him, so he gives us. When I do dua to you, I expect you to come to me.
Mhm.
I say, Ya Fulan, come,
Mhm.
right? I want something from you, so you come to me.
Okay.
But from Allah, we expect Allah. If I want to deal with the Imam alayhi salam, I have to go to him,
Mhm.
not wait for him to come to me.
Yes.
If I want to know who the Imam is, he has to come to me. A hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam in this regard, because I've done a lot of research in this field, and I've delivered some lectures in this regard
Very
of
good.
how we can identify Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. And some people were like just lost in the process. So we have a hadith, the Imam Sadiq alayhi salam talks to one of his companions, where he draws a comparison between Yusuf alayhi salam and the Imam alayhi salam, what we call Sunan al-Anbiya, the traditions of the Prophet in Imam Mahdi. When he compares to Yusuf alayhi salam, so he talks about Yusuf and how he listened to Imam, and then he says, "Mali haula ashbah al-khanazir." What's wrong with these people? They look like sort of pigs. Yamshi fi aswaqihim. He walks in the markets. Wa yata'u farashu, and he goes on the carpets. Wa yarahum. He sees them. Wa yarawna, and they also see him. Wa la ya'rifuna.
They don't recognize it.
They're organized. So where is the problem? Is it with him or is it with us?
Mhm.
So Imam Mahdi Salamullah alayhi is with us.
Yes.
Every human being on earth now has seen him, including me and you. Everyone has seen him.
Okay.
The only problem is what? We did not
Recognize him.
identify him, not recognize. Identify him.
Yes.
So we have a hadith that says Al-Hajj huwa al-Imam alayhi salam. To go to Hajj. He says, in the hadith says, everyone who goes to Hajj sees the Imam. Everyone without exception. And they all see him. يعرفهم. He knows them. ولا يعرفونه. That's the key. They don't know him. So the Imam alayhi salam, he wants me and you to go to him and identify him and get to know him.
Okay.
And that process is easy. The Ahl Bayt Salamullah alayhim, they gave us so much narrations in this regard. The only problem that I see is that there's a lack from our side, the scholars. I mean, I don't talk about myself because I'm not a scholar. That they did not present the Imam alayhi salam in a way that we can link and connect with. And the people themselves also, they have the lack of themselves wanting to know their Imam.
Of course, this is the wish of every Muslim, faithful Muslim, to see the Imam. But is it true that if you are a true waiter, I mean a waiter in the true sense of the word, then the Imam himself will come to you to see you? If you have such authentic hadiths regarding this, that Imam he himself will come and visit.
Look, the question is now let's assume I know who Imam al-Zaman is. I know Fulan is Imam al-Zaman Salamullah alayhi. Now, why would I want the Imam to come to me? What purpose would I serve the Imam for him to come to me? Okay, so sometimes we want, and I ask a lot of people this question, like if you have the chance to go to the Imam and see the Imam, what would you say to him? What, give me money, solve my problems? I don't know, like put your hand on my head and make me this? What am I trying to get from the Imam?
Yes.
So the reality is, I don't need to have the Imam to come to me. What I need is to know him. So
Yes.
Abu Basir, one of the companions of Imam Sadiq, was a blind man. When he was saying this, Imam Sadiq said to him, do you know your Imam? He grabbed the Imam by hand because he could not see. He said, you are my Imam. The Imam said to him, because he asked him about Imam Mahdi, he said to him, إِذَا عَرَفْتَ صَاحِبَ هَذَا الْأَمْرِ. If you know the Imam of this period, of this affair, then it does not make a difference whether he appears or not. So you need to get to know your Imam.
Very good.
Okay? So the idea is that we, first and foremost, we have to identify him,
Yes.
get to know him. And obviously, like I said, you have to go through that link. First, you have to know him by name, his history, theology, and then search for him. And this requires tawfiq,
Yes.
first and foremost, and also requires persistence.
Yes.
Because the mystics always, or the Urafa, they always give this example that if you want water, if you want to understand the value of water, deprive yourself of water for 3 days. And then the only thing that comes to your mind is what? Water.
Yes.
The more thirsty you get, the only thing you can think about is water. When you put an effort to seek your Imam al-Zaman, and he becomes the only thing that you care about,
Yes.
you will find a way. Now, once you get to know your Imam al-Zaman, that should give you satisfaction that you don't need to see him in person, because he has other affairs to run.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If the Imam alayhi salam sees it fit that he comes and visits you, ahlan wa sahlan. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So whether we have a hadith in this regard, we don't have a hadith that the Imam will come and see you, but we have stories of ulama and people who were seeking the Imam.
Yes.
And the Imam said to them, look, if you do the right thing, I will come to you. Okay? I will see you. You don't need to come and see me. Just do what you've been told to do. And I will come see you.
During the history of Islam, especially the Shia Islam, we had so many stories and the events that they had the chance of visiting the Holy Imam. We got another question from Brother Musa Hassan. It says that, can everyone see Imam Al-Mahdi, or only a special people among some countries like Iraq and Iran?
No, so let me throw a bombshell, as we say. Now, every one of us, without exception, including the brother who asked the question, has seen the Imam. Everyone has seen him. So
It's a big claim, brother.
yeah, it is a big claim. Do you know why?
Okay.
Because the Ahl said so. He says, and if I remember the hadith correctly, I don't want to say, I want to rephrase the hadith. It says, عندما تراه عين كأنما رأته كل عين. It's like once a person sees him, as if everyone sees him. We have a narration that says when Imam Zaman comes out, everyone says, I've seen this guy. I know this guy. Based on what? Based on the fact that he was with us. Now, there is a specific, because we, obviously we're delving in depth into the concept of Mahdawiyya, which is taking us away from the topic.
Okay.
So in the concept of Mahdawiyya, we have the concept of what we call Ikhfa al-Unwan, the hiding the personality or identity. But through the riwayat of the Ahl Bayt, we have so many of them. Because like I said, this is not my topic for today, that's why I did not, I don't want to dive into it. We have narrations of Ahl Bayt that says that Imam Salamullah alayhi, during time of ghaiba, he will be present amongst the people. He would hold a position in government, or at least he will hold a position on a global scale that everyone would know him by. But they would know him by his second name. The Imam has two names, Muhammad bin Hassan, which everyone knows, and his special name. We have so much narration that says whoever names the Imam by his name is cursed. For example, if you go to the Bihar, if you go to Imam Al-Mahdi section, the Al-Majlisi rahmatullah, he narrated all these narrations. Do not name the name of the Imam. Now, even the Majlis himself says, well, there's a problem with these ahadith. Because the ulama, they try to, what should I call it? They try to give a way out of this mess, okay? Well, I mean, now everyone's calling him Muhammad bin Hassan. And the Harawai says, do not call him by his name. They said, no, this was a taqiyya. This was a time of the Imam. Was a lot of, the power, the Abbasid and this and that. So they were trying to hide the Imam identities. Therefore, they said, do not call his name. But that's nonsense. Why? Because the Prophet himself, he announced him. He said, Ismuhu ismi. Kunyatuhu kunyati.
Yes.
The Prophet, on many occasions, even in the hadith of the Ahl Sunnah, even Sunnah say, he is Muhammad ibn Abdullah, we say Muhammad ibn Hassan. So he's known to everybody. So what does this hadith mean? Then, if you link at the hadith, the Ahl Bayt say, no. The Ahl Bayt, they have, Imam Zaman, he has another nickname, he has another name that he goes by amongst people. And Imam says, Wallahi laqad sammaynah wa laqad kannaynah. We have given a name, we have given a kunya. And the man who was asking Imam said, yeah, Ibn Rasulullah, tell me that name. He's like, hayhat, hayhat. No way I would tell you such a thing. But those who do in the such will find out who this person is. So the Imam holds this position. And this position is global. As seen, or at least he holds something that everyone will know him by. The hadith says, Al-Mufaddal asks Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam about bidayat al-dhuhur. The Imam talks about the concept of the Imam appearing. He said, يَظْهَرُ فِي شُبْهَةٍ لِيَسْتَبِينَ. He will come in a time where it is clouded with doubts, so he becomes known. And then the Imam, he continues talking, and he says the Imam would come with a different identity that people do not recognize that he is the Imam of the time. So the Imam is there.
Yes.
He's holding a different name. This is the claim that I'm making, that he said this big claim. Because the Imam said he is out there, he's with you guys, he's seen by everybody, he's having a different identity, you guys don't identify him by. Now, here's a simple, another point I want to make. When it comes to the Imams, we have this cartoonic, Hollywoodic idea of Imam al-Zaman, that he has to come outside with his face like a projector of light and emitting light, and he's like, he walks on, I don't know. The Imam is, no, he's not going to come with his face projecting nur. He's going to come like a normal person.
Okay.
That he's amongst other people. And the Ahl Bayt, mind you, also they gave the description of the Imam ﷺ from his hair to his feet. We have an entire description. And if you, and this is like, we're really drifting off the topic, because like even Hollywood themselves, especially in the recent years, they've concentrated so much on the concept of Imam Zaman.
Ahmadism, yes.
Even especially the last two movies they made, June 1, June 2.
June, that's right.
It's like how clear could they make it that they're saying to us, we know who your Imam is, we know how he looks like, we know what he will do, and we're anticipating him. We're going to come and obviously kill him or do whatever.
And kill him,
so they have, I can go in more detail, but obviously, like I said, we're going to get this sidetracked. So the idea is that the Imam is there, he's present, everyone has seen him, everyone knows him, but they don't know him as Muhammad bin Hassan. They know him as Fulan ibn Fulan. This is what the concept of Ikhfa al-Shakhsiyya or Ikhfa al-Unwan, that his identity is hidden, not his personality, not his personal existence, not his physical existence.
Mm-hmm.
That is shown to people.
And as you said, the holy month of Ramadan is the best chance to get as close as possible to Imam.
It is. So
yes.
if we use this month,
Mm-hmm.
and especially through Dua Al-Iftitah,
yes.
and we get to dissect the dua, not just read it.
Mm-hmm.
We dissect it word by word.
Mm-hmm.
So leave the hamd and thana. These are deals with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Ahl Bayt Salam Allah alayhim, even they mentioned very quickly, Allahumma salli ala wali amrik, awliyaik, and he mentioned by name, and then the main feast is about Imam Al-Mahdi. اللهم صل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمن العدل المنتظر وحفظه بملائكتك المقربين ويتوب روح القدس يا رب العالمين, and then اللهم أنا نرغب إليك دعوة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله, and then the dua goes on, continues.
And even the establishment of Islamic government is emphasized. I mean, at the end, some phrases indirectly refer to an authority which is going to be established by Imam. I mean, even in this sense, the people can somehow picture a kind of world.
This is the as we say,
has.
the dawla of Imam Al-Zaman,
Yes.
Salamullah alayhi. If because some people might get upset when we talk about these kind of things, because everyone these days have their own mentality.
Yes.
But let's assume this is like not 100%.
Yes.
A country, an Islamic Republic, an Islamic state, as the Imams want. But let's say I'm saying tanazulan, I'm coming down. Let's say it's 1%. 1%. It should give you an idea, an image of how an Islamic state would be during the time of the Imam alayhi salam. One of the benefits that people have in this Islamic Republic of Iran, one of the benefits is that they can express and they can practice their faith freely. Now, I don't want to go into politics, and there's a lot of corruption in politics, and it's corrupted, and how could you say this is Islamic? I have nothing to do with this. This is like all political discussion for another time. But at least me, as a faithful follower of the Ahl Bayt, there is no place safer for me in the world than the Islamic Republic of Iran. Why? Because I can hold my faith on the outside. So in Dua Al-Iftitah says, Allahumma narghab ilayka fi dawlatin karima tu'uzzu biha al-Islam. Not just that you make the Islam aziz, honored. Wa ahla, the people of Islam what? Also aziz, also honored. Now me who lives in the West, am I aziz? Am I honored? Am I protected?
Is the Dawlat Kareem?
No, forget about the dawla. Because like I said, we said dawla كلمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله. Me as a Muslim, am I aziz in my Western country? I'm not. They're fighting me. They're doing everything to deprive me of my faith, the faith of my children, the faith of my wife, the faith of my daughters. They're fighting. I'm not an aziz. If anything, I'm a dalil. I'm humiliated in these lands.
Right.
But at least if I compare it to Iran, I am aziz in my faith. Now, Allahumma azza bihi mathala al-Islam wa ahla. Islam is aziz here. And so is the people. The people live with their faith intact. They can express their faith.
That's right.
So there is no comparison. So the Imam alayhi salam, in this dua, when he says, Allahumma narghabu ilayka fi dawlatin karima, this is an example of dawla karima.
Yes.
At least in the Islamic sense, not in the political sense.
Yes.
Okay? So yeah, definitely this would be an example of that.
That's right. We got one question in verbal format, a verbal question from Brother Ali. Let's listen to that live on Zoom. You are watching Thaqalayn Talks.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Crystal clear.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Jazakallah khairan for this show. So I've got a question for dear Sayyid, which he touched on a few seconds ago, but I need more elaboration on that. So I've got, this is the question. Does this connection you're talking about go beyond the surface of individual level and it reaches the community and society level as well? If so, how? Would you please explain more? Thank you.
Are you talking about the us connecting with the Imam on a personal level or the community on a personal level? Could you please make the question a bit clearer on the connection?
Yeah, since the topic was the connection to the Imam, I was assuming that the community as a whole can find its way to, get closer to Imam or Imams. commands?
Look, definitely the idea is that during the month of Ramadan, because it's the month of the Ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as we mentioned earlier, so the whole Ummah collectively, it needs to connect with this Imam. And that's why we've been emphasized on doing this Dua Kumail every month, at least like in a masjid where we are together. So the whole Ummah needs to connect with the Imam alayhi salam. So when we do this dua, we want the Imam to come because as the dua ends, says, Allahumma inna nashku ilayka. Oh Allah, we are complaining to you. فَقَدَ نَبِيَّنَا, we miss our Prophet. وَغَيْبَةَ وَلِيَّنَا, our Imam is not present. So it's all we. So the whole community needs to connect with the Imam. But having that, the first priority is on a personal level, that we need to connect with the Imam ourselves. So I need to connect with him before anyone else. So the Quran says, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِكُمْ. First, protect yourselves and your family. Then the Quran goes and it says, do أمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. First, protect yourself, protect your family, then move to the community. Now, when it comes to Imam Mahdi and connecting with him, first I need to connect with him. And if that connection is established between me and him, then I can do tabligh to Imam al-Zaman, which is something that we're really lacking in when it comes to doing tabligh for Imam al-Zaman. Beside the drama, beside the theoretical drama that we do, and the crying and all the anashid, beside that, knowing the Imam for what makes him, for what he is, that's the thing that we're lacking the most. So if I can connect, and then I can connect to other people. And the same thing, it is held in the Dua Al-Iftitah itself. Allahumma ij'alna fiha min ad-du'ati ila ta'atik wal-qadati ila sabilik. Oh Allah, I don't want to be just a normal person. I want to be a qa'id. I want to be a person that can go deliver and bring people to Allah. And when we say to Allah, first and foremost, we have to bring people to Imam Mahdi because he is the representative of Allah.
Yes.
Okay? So because Allah doesn't have an entity. So when we talk about Allah, we're talking about Imam al-Zaman alayhi salam. So we have to be a qada and muballighin to Imam al-Zaman alayhi salam. So I connect first with Imam al-Zaman. If I manage to connect, then I connect to everyone else. And on the second level, the whole community need to come together and connect with the Imam alayhi salam. I hope that answers the question.
Inshallah, thank you very much. Still, we got some other questions. It's getting longer than the regular times we had every night on Thaqalayn Talks, but since the topic is
it's worth it. It's worth it because this is our Imam alayhi salam. Trust me, whatever time we give to Imam al-Zaman, we are still lacking. We still have not done him justice because the Imam Salamullah alayhi, he has so much on our necks that we need to give back to him. So spending time talking about him is actually not doing him enough. So the more we spend, the more the better for us.
Very good. So again, Brother Musaq Hassan, if I'm pronouncing his name right, he says that still we have confusion about Imam Al-Mahdi and Isa among Shia and some scholars. Some say he is of two, while others says Isa and Mahdi are the one. Is it true?
I'm not sure where the brother got this from, but Isa alayhi salam is a prophet. He has his special duty. He's mentioned in the Quran, and he will come down to aid the Imam alayhi salam. Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is the Imam of the time.
Yes.
So there is absolutely no doubts between these two characters.
Because most of them maybe are introduced as the savior. So
from a Christian perspective, if you talk about Christianity, they
Yes.
look at Jesus Christ as the Savior. The Jews, they waiting for the Messiah. The Buddhists, they're waiting for their own Messiah. Every religion have their Messiah that will come at the end of the day. Without exception, every single one of them, including Buddhism and Judaism and Christianity. Now, obviously, I'm not going to come and link the two. So Christians say, okay, he's going to come at the end of the time. You guys call him Mahdi, you call him Jesus, therefore it's the same personality. We say, no, we believe what you believe.
Yes.
We believe what we believe. What we believe is that two characters will come at the end of time. First, Imam Mahdi salamullah alayhi, after he establishes a few things, then Isa alayhi salam will come down and he will aid the Imam, he will serve his purpose, and then he will die.
You mean Isa will serve Imam too?
Of course.
Okay.
The hadith from the Prophet, even Shia and Sunni narrate this hadith says, كيف بكم وإذا, he talks about Isa, and he says, إمامكم منكم, your Imam from you, and Isa will be praying behind your Imam. Because he's the Imam of the time, so even Isa salam would be a helper of the Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, not vice versa. So, like I said, other religions, they might confuse the two personalities. That's another issue. But as far as Islam, it's very clear. There is no doubt whether it's Shia and Sunnah. Isa alayhi salam is one character.
Yes.
Al-Mahdi alayhi salam is another character.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sayyid Abdullah. We are running out of time, so we're getting to the end of the program. Anything miss your final remarks, brother?
My final remarks is that
You can also talk straight to the camera.
to the camera?
Yeah. Okay. If
Okay,
you like
sure.
the people who are watching us live.
my last remark is that let us have a different perspective of the month of Ramadan. Yes, it's a month of ibadah. Yes, it's a month of this, a month of that. But it is the month of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Let me also leave you with another point. We've been told that Shahr Ramadan, Rabi'ul Quran, right, is the spring of the Quran. So in this month, what the Quran comes to life, where we've been told to go back to the Quran, read a chapter every day. We do this for the Quran. But is Allah talking, or the hadith, are they talking about this actual Quran, this actual text? Or is it talking about some other Quran? Because the Quran itself, we have a textual Quran and we have a practical Quran. The actual Quran is Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, is the actual A'imma alayhi salam. Amir al-Mu'minin salamullah alayhi, one day he was in the member of the Kufa and he held the Quran in his hand and he said, what is this? They said, the Quran. And he said, no, I am the Quran. Now this is just a text. A text will do you no good. Unless you have what? The Imam. إِنِّي تَارِكٌ فِيكُمُ الثَّقَلَيْنِ كِتَابُ اللَّهِ وَعَتْرَتِي مَا إِن تَمَسَّكْتُمْ بِهِمَا. As long as you hold on to two of them, both of them. So if, for argument's sake, if the A'imma alayhim salam, they meant by Quran is Imam al-Zaman. So the month of Ramadan becomes the spring of Imam al-Zaman. So the month of Ramadan should be the month of Imam al-Mahdi. So the whole atmosphere of the month of Ramadan for us as Shia of the followers of the Ahl Bayt should revolve around Imam al-Mahdi. Yes, read the Quran, sure, do pray, do salah, do sadaqah, do this, do that. But let Imam al-Zaman be the focal point, the main point in this whole month. If this whole month ends and you think that you've read the whole Quran, you've done sadaqah, you've done charity, but you did not connect with your Imam, you did not understand your Imam, then I am saddened to say that you missed the point.
Okay.
So inshallah you guys will do a bit of research. And that's why I said Dua Al-Iftitah is the gateway to Imam al-Zaman salamullah alayhi. Don't just read it. Understand it word for word. Break the words down and see where do you fit in this whole map. And then Ramadan, I guarantee you, if you do that, Ramadan will have a different taste. Yes. It will have a different feel.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Sayyid Abdullah Almusawi, for a nice elaboration regarding the connection between Imam As, Imam Al-Mahdi Jalallah, and the Holy Quran. Also, Dua Al-Iftitah. I really enjoyed your presence in the program, Thaqalayn Talks. Thank you very much, brother. And thank you very much, dear viewers, for watching Thaqalayn Talks, presented to you by Noor Online Islamic Center.